definitely don't want to learn in a deadly situation.
Right.
You don't want to learn at that point. It's too late then. You definitely want to learn in a safe space where it probably, it costs you the training, but it's not going to cost you a limb or, something drastic. You can learn right there and be like, oh, gotcha.
Hey guys, I'm Jacob. I'm here with Brian from Warrior Collections brand. And we have some really exciting stuff to talk about today. You're going to want to stick around for this one.
Welcome Inside the Bunker, a Patriots podcast, sponsored by the Preppers Bunker Outdoors, Beach and Tactical, and Exodus Knife and Tool.
All right, this podcast is sponsored by my own brands, Beach and Tactical and Exodus Knife and Tool. However, I want to give an extra shout out today to two of my buddies, one of whom is Combat Art Training, makes this fanny pack. I've been wearing it. I'm going to be doing a full review soon. I teach my classes in it. And what's unique about it is instead of a zipper on the top, you have a Velcro flap on the top for access to your concealed carry pistol, which mimics what should be your normal concealed carry draw. That's a big deal as opposed to a zipper. The other one's my buddy Garrett at Bear Forest Knives. He's got a bunch of these GT3s in stock. Fantastic little knife, completely handmade, but at a great price. So that's Combat Art Training and Bear Forest Knives. So Brian, it is so good to have you. It's been a long time. I think we've been talking about this for maybe years at this point.
Yeah, I think back in 2020, I came across the channel and I forgot what you were talking about. I just gravitated. You seem so pure and passionate about what you were saying. Direct, wasn't sugarcoating anything, and I love that style. Like you're straight to the point, you're direct, and you're not worrying about if you're smashing feelings. And I love that approach, man.
Yeah, well, and it's hard because it's easy to get wrapped up in the analytics and it's easy to worry about giving a message in a way that's going to help you to grow. But what does your growth mean if you're afraid to tell the truth?
Yeah.
What's the point, right? So, I'm probably in today's political environment, it's probably better to fly under the radar when it comes to subs and views and actually say what you mean than it is to get so big that enough people are watching and reporting your stuff to get you booted off anyways.
Right.
Big tech is not friendly to us.
No, they hate us. They hate us. They hate us.
Absolutely. All right. So, tell me a little bit about your story, Warrior Collections brand. What led you to where you are, your core principles that make your brand what it is.
All right. So what led me to it was, the Army retired me. I was sitting home, 2018, sitting there. It was dark. Like literally the clouds were just hovering over me, dark space. And I couldn't find any work. I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt lost. So, I talked to my psychiatrist or whatever. And once he put the nail in the coffin and said, you'll never put the uniform on again, I had to figure out what I was going to do. I had to figure out like what was the next move. So, from that day forward, I looked myself in the mirror and said, it's time to fight. It's time to, it's time to do something, create something. So I started off with the podcast, which is called Warriors Vision. Actually, it was called See Through It Podcast, but now it has morphed into Warriors Vision. And then the business came along with it, Warriors Collection brand, and the core values that I felt were needed to be a warrior: courage, integrity, honor, loyalty, respect, and commitment were very big to me, very important, especially with everything that was going on in 2020, where values were literally thrown out the door and total chaos and madness was like praised.
Yep.
So, I wanted to create a company that was based around that foundation and, show people that those values were still important. And I felt like that to be a warrior, that you needed those things. and here we are today, just trying to maintain and standing strong on that, because you have so many people, like you said, big tech, they want to smash you. You can see people grifting and doing and saying things just to push them, elevate themselves higher.
Right.
There's no integrity anymore. There's no respect. There's no respect for the uniform. There's no respect for self. Community. It's gone. So I definitely pride myself on standing strong in this chaos, and whether I succeed in that, it doesn't matter. I'm a man of conviction. I'm standing on this, and this is what I believe. So
I think that's an important point to make, whether you succeed or not, because people measure their success in clicks and follows and likes. And so many channels with a good message become discouraged. They know it's a good message, but either people don't care, or it looks like people don't care because big tech crushes them. Right. So they disappear. And I think that's part of the point. And there's been many points. I've been doing this almost like 10 years now.
Wow.
There's been many points where, I've been discouraged with my progress. I get messages regularly from people who have to constantly resubscribe to my channel because they just get unsubscribed or followed on Instagram or whatever. I see other channels progress further and more quickly, and it can be discouraging. But I also have to remember that that's what they want. And there are so many people saying to leave these platforms for more friendly platforms. And I do see the point in that, because in these social medias that we're using, we are the product. But at the same time, big tech is going to keep these big social media platforms alive. And if we all leave these platforms, there's no conservative voice left. And someone who might not have a conservative voice, but is on these social medias, is going to feel more and more isolated and alone when he realizes that all of these things that he thinks in his head, but he's afraid to say, nobody else is saying either.
Right. Yeah. And that's another reason why I stay on YouTube, because, there's people that are still left in the middle of the field. They don't know where to go. You have the left that are literally lost their minds. And then you have the conservatives or the right, where they're not really too sure they want to be on that side, but they're in the middle, and they're trying to find who can I listen to, who's not lying, who's not just saying something just to get that like, or get them to buy something. So we can't all abandon IG and Twitter or whatever just because it's not being nice.
Right.
That's life. You have to continue to fight. You have to continue to fight.
Absolutely. Good stuff, man. The other thing that can be difficult, I think most everybody's familiar with Elon Musk at this point, and the process of buying Twitter, not buying Twitter again, maybe not buying Twitter again, who knows? But a big part of that was the bots. So when Twitter advertised their value based on the number of active users that they had, and it was found out that those numbers were vastly inflated because so many of these users were bots, were fake. He pulled out because that affected Twitter's value. You have less real people than you're advertising, and the real people are what gives this platform value, right? But these bots, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, they are so prevalent. In fact, if I go on Instagram, for instance, my search page, it might show me a few of the things that I like generally. However, they will be from some giant page that's just fake. They're just stealing pictures and posting them. I see almost no content getting organic reach in the search page from the people who should be getting it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then that works with the trolls as well, with YouTube and stuff like that. Actually, just recently, Facebook's been going back and forth with the government because a whole bunch of active military psyop fake pages were found by Facebook and deleted. It's like 150 pages, and pissed Uncle Sam off. I guarantee you it was barely a drop in the bucket, because so psyops are here in the U.S. working actively, and they're using social media to its full capability or capacity. But it's right here in front of us. We've been socially engineered and socially manipulated for so long, and social media is such a powerful platform for them to do that through. And so, yeah, man, it can just be discouraging, Yeah. And these guys are out here specifically to demoralize.
Yeah. That's why you see so many things where, division is the main play in the playbook, to divide everyone, whether it's, religion or race, whatever they can to use to divide. That it's in the playbook, and they're going to use it through social media, through entertainment or entertainment. That's what they're going to use.
So actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that. You mentioned the division. We have, even if we had no bots on social media, even if we had no psyops or anything like that, we've got fools in this world, right? So you're going to get some pretty stupid stuff. But one of the things that I've seen repeatedly, not that it bothers me, but I get a lot of white devil comments. All right, I'm a white guy with blue eyes and short hair, so that pops up. But one recently, I had shared a post, a meme about Ruby Ridge, Waco, and the ATF. And I was accused of being racist because this meme did not include the Hope bombing in Philadelphia, which is actually a situation that, when it comes to liberty, is still important to me. However, the point was made that I was racist for mentioning Waco and Ruby Ridge, where the victims were white, and not the Hope bombing, where this whole community was black. But the person calling me racist was doing so in support of gun control, because our mass shooters are a bunch of white terrorists, so we need gun control. And so I don't really care about who is or isn't the terrorist or mass murder or something like that, but it seemed to contradict, the point seemed to contradict itself, to call me racist for not talking about the Hope bombing, but then to support the gun control and the government overreach that made the Hope bombing possible. But I mean, what do you think? Like, if there was systemic racism in the United States that was prevalent, wouldn't that just be more reason to abolish all gun control, so that we can all be self-responsible and carry a gun? Wouldn't that be the whole point?
Yeah, that would definitely be the whole point, to make sure that you're able to defend yourself, be able to defend your community, your family, not to jump on board with gun control. That literally makes no sense. Who's going to protect you now? Who's going to protect you now? If you're saying that the government is racist and systemic racism is a thing, you're going to now rely on the government to
protect you from racism?
Yeah, like, how does that work? I don't understand. People get wrapped up in that word racism, and it's like it's an emotional trigger. They're immediately triggered by it, and they can't see anything because they're so triggered. They can't rationalize. Logic has been erased. because they're just, being ran off emotions and feelings. I can't subscribe to it. It's nonsense. It's total nonsense. I'm a person of responsibility. I'm not looking for someone else to protect me, feed me, or any of those things. I want to do it myself. People, it's nonsense. That person needs to, do some reading and turn off the TV. I don't know what else to say.
Well, and part of this goes far beyond gun control, of course. We're talking about liberty and self-responsibility. My big message with my YouTube channel is to strive towards becoming ungovernable. And whenever the government promises to protect you from something, right? They are not able to do it, and they're not able to target one specific group or another. It never works that way. And the history of a lot of gun control was originally to keep guns out of the hands of American blacks, because for concealed carry permits, they wanted you to get approval through your local sheriff, right? So if your local sheriff was racist, you aren't going to get approved for a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
So the logical answer to solve that problem, to me, would be the legal answer, which would be to get rid of concealed carry permits altogether, because you can't permit a right. You can't charge people for their rights. That means that you're not supporting their rights. So like a racist sheriff has no power over whether or not you have a gun, or you can carry a gun legally, if there's no law giving him the power to make that decision, right? So it seems like that would be, to me, the best way to get rid of this racism. And if I were to be severely concerned about racism for myself and my family, the last person I think I'd go to fix that problem would be the government, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes no sense. That's who he was fighting the whole time, was the government. Like, to sign in, the civil rights movement, all of that. He had to force the government to do so. You think that all of a sudden switched up sides? No, you're still fighting them. You can't be like, yeah, we need them to advocate for more gun law. No, that's stupid. They're not going to protect you.
No,
you're not going to be protected.
It's crazy, man. We live in a clown world.
It is a clown world.
Well, one thing that I like about the content you put out, you're out there in the gym, you're out there shooting. We as people, the way that this society has been engineered, they want us to put everything off and just work and pay taxes, right? But you have to invest in yourself. You have value as a person, but you're squandering that value if you're letting yourself, wither away. And so I'm glad to see you out there getting it. Yeah, man.
It's been fun, like I said, I also, I recently got certified by the USCCA. And so I've been just creating this big umbrella for my business, trying to get people trained, trying to inspire people I just started growing food, or learning how to grow food.
That's awesome.
So like when I'm telling people to, take full responsibility over their lives, like I'm also doing it myself. I'm trying to show people how to do those things, because it's important. Once you're able to do so, you won't be looking towards the government to do anything for you.
Right.
You don't care about any kind of programs or any of that, because you're able to do it for yourself. You're able to protect your family, your community. You're able to, grow your own food, hunt. You're able to do all those things to survive, which is your responsibility anyway. So
Right.
why not,
Right.
why not take it upon yourself to learn those things, right?
Right. Well, and what that brings to my mind is two things. It's about power. So
Mhm.
if you are ungovernable, and let's say that you are able to sustain yourself without any outside influence, how could you be manipulated? Like, Brian, I'm going to stop selling food to you if you don't give me all of your guns. You're going to be like, I'll just grow my own food. Like, I don't care. I have no power over you
Exactly.
if you can sustain yourself.
Yeah.
And so now it is true that nobody can have a good standard of living and be 100% self-sufficient. Even when you go back to primitive societies, you have small groups, you have communities and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But we can work towards that goal,
Mhm.
you know. And dang it, the other thing, so that's the problem with saying there's two things that you reminded me of. The other thing was what I was going to really tie it up with, but I don't remember now. That sucks. Do you want to talk at all about any kind of Christian motivation that you have through this, or your
Oh
relationship
yeah,
with
like,
God, and how that has affected this journey for you?
you know what, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to be very clear, very transparent in what I'm saying. Um, the old me was a very bad person. It was a very bad, toxic person, and it was through God that I was able to find my way and to become a warrior. You know, this whole journey that I'm on now is a journey that's been given to me by God. I don't preach God to people. All I try to do is live by example. I try to be their light. Um, you know, everything that I do, you know, whether it's gardening, I tell people he's given us the strength, he's given us life, the ability to do so. Why not do it? If he's giving you the ability to get up every morning and, you know, move around, why not take care of yourself? Why not go in the gym or go walk so you can stay in shape? If he's giving you the ability to have a family, why not better yourself so you can protect your family? You know, he's giving you these things. Do your best to protect them, to provide for them. Do all those things, you know, and I wouldn't be able to do what I am doing now if it wasn't for God. It's because of him. I am doing what I'm doing, and you know, that's the bottom line. Because, like I said, I was a very, and when I mean bad, like I mean I'm talking bad, bad. I'm in a different place now. Like I said, integrity, respect, loyalty, all that is like in me. That's my core. That's my value. That's I'm not going to change or shift. Whether, like I said, whether I'm successful or not successful,
Right.
I'm going to live the way I'm supposed to be living. So in hopes that I can, you know, change someone else and give them inspiration or inspire them to do the same thing for
Right.
themselves.
That's awesome. Actually, that reminds me of the second thing I was going to get to that was important to me. You said that you're working on your food, right? Food production. So, you know, what that says to me is you've seen somewhere that you're weak, and that is where you're practicing and focusing.
Mhm.
And so that's a mindset thing. When it comes to training or these lifestyle things, so many people want to focus on what they're already good at.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't know if you're familiar with Two Sisters Survival. YouTube just yanked them for being kind of a urban training and self-sufficiency channel that involves children, his family, and
Mhm.
YouTube's really cracking down on anything with kids right now. But I talked to him after the Iraq Veteran 8888 machine gun shoot, and I was talking to him about I'm going to be doing some fire classes in Georgia,
Okay.
and he wanted to come down for that. But he's talking to me about some of his urban classes and urban work that he's doing, and he's talking about stuff that I would have never considered, you know, stereotypical or not, like I'm out in the woods. That's where my focus is. And he said, you and me are in a situation where a riot is about to hit somewhere around here. When someone looks at us, what do they think? And he's black. Man, I don't know. But since we're both around 30, 40 years old, basic military age male, if we are in a riot, no matter what the demographic is of where this riot is going on, us just walking together would automatically make us look like undercover police. Because while everybody's rioting and we're separate from that, just a random white guy and black guy in plain clothes walking together in this volatile situation is going to look like, I would never think about something like that.
Yeah.
So it made me think, I need to, and this is what he specializes in, I need to go get training in this kind of environment, because my idea of an emergency in a city involves me trying to get to the woods, right?
Right.
Right. But getting to the woods doesn't do you much good if you die before you get there.
Right.
Right. So thinking about some of these things, running through some drills, in Afghanistan, going through some of these tight cities and towns and stuff like that, nerve-wracking places to be. It's the worst spot to be in, especially if you become a target for people's attention. But I realized very quickly that was most certainly where I was weak. I don't really feel comfortable in cities anyways, and that's where I need to go. But that's one thing I want to encourage people. A lot of people talk about going out and taking a training class, and they're like, I want to practice first, right? Because they don't want to go to class and be embarrassed.
Right. Yeah.
But they need to go learn in the class. That's why they're taking the class, so they can learn it the right way first, right? And don't worry about being good at what you are going to go learn before you go learn it. That's just silly. We need to actually actively be searching for our weaknesses and getting training in those areas.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Speaking of training, I'm going into the Georgia bushcraft because I want to get better in the bushcraft area. I know very little. What the Army taught us in survival in the woods, but I want to go and learn like more things that could possibly improve or even make me better.
Right.
In the woods. And people, you said it perfectly. Like people, you can't practice, because if you're practicing and then you go to that class, you're going to be mentally still stuck on the things that you practice because you feel like you've already mastered that, and you're going to be close to any other information coming in. So don't worry about practicing. Go get the training, open ears, open eyes, absorb it all, bring it back home, and then practice. You learn that and then bring that and practice. Don't waste time trying to perfect something that you already know. Go step into other things that you don't know. What am I saying? Be an asset. So train hard, train smart. So that means doing things you don't know. If you're only good at one thing, you might be an asset, maybe. But if someone else already knows that and they don't need that, now you're a liability.
Right.
They don't need you for that because their team already has this.
Right.
What else can you do?
Yep.
I don't know. So be an asset.
Right. Well, and on that same topic, like I've taken a lot of pistol classes. I can do a lot of pistol shooting here. If I'm already good at, fairly proficient with my concealed carry pistol, why am I going to go take another pistol class? You know what I mean? Like I haven't done that much with a shotgun. I've shot at a couple birds and critters, right? Some plays, but that's on my list. So people want validation is the thing. We have to stop looking for validation. In fact, if you go to a class and learn that you were wrong about something, like just outright undeniably you learn that you were wrong about something, what better way to improve yourself? There's no better way to do it. Like when if you get proven wrong, you didn't have to learn the hard way that you were wrong. You just learned that you were wrong like this with no pain outside of the embarrassment. You can't get anything better than that.
Absolutely. You can't get any better than that. You definitely don't want to learn in a deadly situation. You don't want to learn at that point. It's too late then. You definitely want to learn in a safe space where it probably, it costs you the training, but it's not going to cost you a limb or, something drastic. You can learn right there and be like, oh, gotcha.
Exactly.
I'm good now.
Good stuff, man. Well, Brian, what is the best place for people to go to find your content? Where do you feel the most comfortable? Where do you put the most information out?
Let me see. I would say, my YouTube channel, Warriors Collection Network. There, I'm trying to get up with other people, other warriors, and learn other things, so that hopefully the content that we put together, I'm able to showcase someone else, and then they can learn as well. There's so many things that I plan on doing with that channel. But yeah, you can go to YouTube, Warriors Collection Network. Not really active on IG. I just something about posting all the time, or feeling like I have to always have my camera out just to,
Yeah,
it's just so much. But YouTube is a good place, and YouTube.
Good
YouTube
deal.
is a good place.
So I'm gonna place your links in the description box below. If you're watching, you can check out his links there. You have a website as well, don't you?
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you can check my website out at www.warriorscollectionbrand, where we just put out a bag, and with the bag there's a bundle. Actually, if you go camping, or if you've never been camping and you want to go camping and you don't know what to pack out in your bag, we have a list of things already packed out for you. You just buy the bag, the bundle, and boom, and then you can add on to extra things that you want to add on to it. We got more things planned for that collection. It's called the Camping Essential Survival Gear collection. So, like I said, we're leaning towards bushcrafting, self-care, where we have our supplements, very clean supplements, our coffee collection, and some apparel items. So yeah, go check out the store. Our coffee, we donate 10% of our transactions to an organization called Code of Vets, where they help out veterans in real time, whether they're struggling with rent, utility, groceries, whatever the case may be. And I want to say this, I know that there's regular civilians, regular citizen, they're also struggling as well. But I go to this organization because, the veterans it touches the heart all the time. So
right.
That's why I donate to them. Once we get bigger and we're able to donate to multiples, we'll be able to do that, because I'm very big on community. But for right now, that's who we donate to. Because I know I tweeted this out before, and someone was rubbed wrong by it. Like, they didn't like the fact that it was only going to, to veterans, but it's all good. So,
any organization that is overly broad can't help anyone.
mm-hmm.
You could have an organization to help every homeless person, but a quarter goes to every homeless person,
Mm-hmm.
and half of the homeless people that quarter went to wanted to be homeless. Well, then you actually missed half the people that could have used 50 cents, right? So,
Right.
we are veterans. I think it makes sense to focus on helping veteran nonprofit organizations and stuff like that. And there's always going to be someone to complain. But you know what? Those people that are complaining are doing so while they're not helping anybody. So,
yeah, exactly. Well said. Yeah, so yeah, check out the website. I'm just a regular guy, just trying to inspire and motivate people to take more responsibility for self, and a guy that's still learning how to survive in this crazy world while grabbing others to show them and hopefully teach them the way as well. So
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. I'm so glad that we were able to
yeah,
link up and have such a similar positive message. I hope to have you on again soon in the future. So we will stay in touch. And for everybody watching, I want to encourage you to check out his links. They'll be at the top of the description box below. Below that will be combat art training and bear forest knives. And below that will be ways that you can support my channel. Brian, thank you again.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will talk to you in the comment section below, and I hope that you have a blessed day. All right.